Welcome back to PANENKA Predictions, everyone. It's the FIFA Club World Cup knockout games, and there's a few very juicy looking games this weekend to look out for. The first one that comes to mind is Leo Messi's reunion against his ex-employers PSG. Can the GOAT of world football guide his less experienced Inter Miami onto glory against the current European champions? The very much informed Flamengo of Brazil are taking on the German juggernauts Bayern Munich. Benfica face Chelsea, Juventus play Realmadrid, and so much more. We're going to kick off our predictions with an all-Brazilian affair, because that sounds like a lot of fun. But before we do, if you want to see more of these predictions videos, not only for the FIFA Club World Cup, but much more importantly for the upcoming Premier League and La Liga games this season, then take this second now to hit that subscribe button so you do not miss out on any of my upcoming videos. Let's get into the predictions now, and we're starting off with Palmeiras against Botafogo. Palmeiras rescued a 2-2 draw with Inter Miami to finish on top of their group, after also drawing with Porto and beating Al Ahly. Botafogo come into this match after losing 1-0 to Atletico Madrid in their last game, but before that they did beat Seattle Sounders and, more impressively, Paris Saint-Germain 1-0 to qualify for this knockout stage. Both these teams face each other quite frequently in the Brazilian Serie A, and actually in the last 5 encounters between these two sides, Botafogo has come out on top 3 times and then drawn the other 2. So that for me makes them slight favourites coming into this game. And on top of that, based on the performances and the things that I've seen so far in this tournament, I still think that Botafogo are the more organised side and therefore my slight favourites to go through to the next stage. So quite simply, to kick things off, my prediction for Palmeiras against Botafogo is simply going to be for a Botafogo win. And it's probably going to be a narrow margin victory, either 1-0 or maybe 2-1. The next game sees Benfica of Portugal taking on Chelsea of, well, we all know where Chelsea are from. Benfica, they stunned the footballing world by recording a 1-0 victory against the German side Bayern Munich in their last game, and they'll be coming into this match full of confidence. Chelsea come into this game with 2 wins, easily beating the likes of Los Angeles FC and the Tunisian side Esperance, but they were also beaten convincingly 3-1 by the Brazilian side Flamengo. So I don't think Chelsea, or at least this version of the Chelsea that we're seeing at this Mickey Mouse tournament, is anywhere near their full potential. But they are still slight favourites to get the win against Benfica. I'm not so sure though, based on the recent performances of these teams, and I can actually see this game possibly ending up in a draw. I don't think there's really too much separating these teams right now. I do think the safest prediction could either be going for that draw or an even safer one, which I'm going for, between Benfica and Chelsea. My prediction is that both teams will score. Next up, we have the European champions, Paris Saint-Germain, taking on Leo Messi's Inter Miami. Well, to be fair, it's actually David Beckham's Inter Miami, but you know what I mean with Messi being the leader and all that. PSG started off this tournament very strongly, spanking Atletico Madrid 4-0, before then surprisingly losing to the Brazilian side Botafogo. However, they got back on track very quickly with a very comfortable win against Seattle Sounders. Inter Miami, they surprised quite a few people by even making it to this knockout stage, and this came courtesy of 2 draws and a solitary win in the group stage, and that was against FC Porto of all sides. PSG have most of their star players from last season's very successful Champions League campaign playing in this tournament and playing well, aside of course from Dembele, and they're very strong favourites to go on to the next stage and maybe even to win this FIFA Club World Cup. I mean, you just need to look at the potential lineups and see the likes of Vitinha, João Neves, Barcola if he's fit, and of course Desiree Doué up front, and at the back they've probably got the best goalkeeper in the world right now, and that is Donnarumma. I just don't see how Inter Miami have much hope to get past this team. I mean, Messi is still playing very good and is capable of producing moments of unbelievable magic. The same can probably be said for Luis Suarez and Sergio Busquets as well, but Busquets can only really play as well as the team around him is playing, because he orchestrates the other players in the side, and to be fair, the rest of this Inter Miami team is just made up of good quality MLS players. Whereas PSG, they have European champions pedigree throughout their whole side. And so as much as I would really like to see Messi lift this team and carry them through to win another trophy, I just can't see it happening. I can see this game finishing the same way a game finished the last time PSG played a team called Inter, and that's going to be for a very comfortable and convincing win for the Parisian Giants. So my prediction for PSG against Inter Miami is going to be for a PSG win and over 2.5 goals. Now, I'd love to know your thoughts on this game, so please do share them with me down in the comments. And while you're down there, please also give this video a like if you're enjoying this content so far. And next up, we have another very interesting game. This time, it's between Brazilian side Flamengo and the German side Bayern Munich. Now, both of these teams are in red hot form. Flamengo, they're undefeated in the last 10 games in all competitions. I think it's actually more than that. While Bayern, they've only lost one game in their last 10, and of course that was against Benfica in their last game. Flamengo beat both Chelsea and Esperance of Tunisia by 2-goal margins in the group stage, and they were also held to a 1-1 draw against Los Angeles FC. Whereas Bayern, well, they absolutely embarrassed the New Zealand team FC Auckland by beating them 10-0, before also beating Boca Juniors 2-1. Bayern are unsurprisingly favourites to win this game, but it's not going to be an easy game for them. Flamengo are very well organised, and they've found the back of the net in 9 out of their last 10 games. And given that Bayern have conceded in their last 2 games in this competition, both teams to score does seem like an appealing option. But do we risk it? Or will Bayern simply crank up the gears and score 4, maybe 5, 6 or 7 unanswered goals past the informed Brazilians? I do remember a German side spanking a Brazilian side by that scoreline not too long ago. I do think that Bayern should be good enough to get the win here, but I also feel that Flamengo might get on the score sheet as well. So just to play a little bit safer for this game, I'm going to predict between Flamengo and Bayern Munich that there will be over 2.5 goals in this game. Like I said, Bayern should win it. It'd probably be Bayern and both teams to score, or Bayern and over 2.5 goals. However, I'm just sticking for over 2.5 goals between Flamengo and Bayern. Manchester City, fresh off their 5-2 drubbing of Juventus, take on the Saudi Arabian team Al Hilal. The citizens seem to be improving as they go further on in this tournament with each game, and this should be a very straightforward victory for Pep Guardiola's team. Sure, Al Hilal drew with Real Madrid in the first game and then with Salzburg after that, and they finally got their first win against Pachuca, but against the Manchester City side with so much more talent and that seem to be finding their form in this tournament and who have just put 5 goals past a much better side in Juventus, I think a very comfortable win for Manchester City is definitely on the cards in this game. There's unsurprisingly not much value in taking Manchester City, just simply get the win. So instead, my prediction is going to be for a Manchester City win over Al Hilal and over 2.5 goals to be scored in that game. Borussia Dortmund take on Mexican side Monterrey in what could be a very open and entertaining game. Both Dortmund and Monterrey are capable of finding the back of the net. They've both actually scored 4 goals in a single game in this tournament so far, and I think goals are on the cards once again in this game. I don't think either team has really got the best defensive setup at the moment. It's still early days for them, so keeping this one short.
Title of your sex tape.
I'm sticking with the goals market again for this game, and I'm predicting over 2.5 goals between Borussia Dortmund and Los Mexicanos de Monterrey. And the final game I'm going to make a prediction on in this first knockout phase of the FIFA Club World Cup is between the mighty Juventus and Real Madrid. Juventus was certainly brought crashing back down to earth against Manchester City in their last game after they got off to a tremendous start, scoring 9 goals in their first opening 2 games and only conceding 1 goal in those 2 games as well. Those games though, they were against much weaker opponents than both Manchester City and Real Madrid, and I think that result against Manchester City is probably more of a fair indication of what they're capable of against a European world-class opponent. Real Madrid, much like City, seem to be getting better with every game, and they're comfortable. 3-0 win against Salzburg in the last game sets them up nicely for this game against a probably wounded Juventus. It won't be completely one-sided, however, as Juventus are definitely capable of causing this, well, still weakened and unpolished Real Madrid side some problems as well, but I do think that Real Madrid will still be too strong for the Bianconeri. However, my prediction for this game is not going to be for a Real Madrid win. Instead, I'm going to have faith that Juventus will be able to find the back of the net in this game, and I'm going for both teams to score between Real Madrid and Juventus. Let me know in the comments, do you guys think that Juventus are capable of causing an upset and ousting this Real Madrid side? Certainly part of me hopes they can, because as you all know, I support 3 club teams in this world of football. The first one is obviously Barcelona, the second one is Leeds United, and the third team that I support is anyone that plays against Real Madrid. That's it for my predictions for this first knockout round of the FIFA Club World Cup. Please share your predictions and your thoughts down in the comments with me, and hit that subscribe button as well so you do not miss out on any of my upcoming predictions videos. Enjoy the football, everyone. It's not the biggest of tournaments, I know, but at least it's something for now, and it's much more entertaining than those usual pre-season friendlies. Have a great weekend, and I will see you all again very soon.